It is the end of 2019, or almost at the end of 2019. We're going into a new decade and people are panicking. It is like it's 1999 all over again. People are like, oh, I haven't done anything in this past decade. What I'm gonna do? For me, it is a very great opportunity to review a camera that has been made in this past decade. I'm talking about this Canon EOS 550D. I have bought this camera in 2012 if I'm not mistaken, but it was made in 2010, so it is almost 10 years old. I thought it would be great to review it before we go into the new decade. So I met this photographer online, Kéhmor. He's also from, or his parents are from Curacao, and we started talking on Instagram because I saw one of his pictures and I commented on one of his pictures, and then we started talking about our passion for photography and stuff. So I asked him if we wanted to meet up someday to do some photography stuff or some challenge or whatever. We wanted to do some street photography because we both find street photography a bit scary. I don't like walking up to people and ask them to take pictures, or just stand there and to take pictures of somebody in the hope that they did not turn around and see me taking pictures of them. So we were like, let's just do this. You know, if we do it together, we both find it scary. Let's do it together and maybe it will be fun. We're in Amsterdam trying to get some street photography in first time. Try to get over the fear of shooting people or yeah, mainly
fear?
people.
Is this fear?
Yeah. You just don't want to get in people's private space.
In the grill.
Yeah. As you can see, Kéhmor is shooting with a Sony A6000. He says it's a classic. Yeah, he's shooting with a A6000 with a 18-105 f4.
F4. Sony.
And I'm trying to shoot with my EOS 550D, a camera that I had for a long time before I bought the M50, and I'm shooting with a 50mm.
So we're both shooting with classic cameras.
I don't think this is a classic. I don't know if this is a classic camera, but
Not yet.
it was built, it's from 2010, so it's almost 10 years old, and it has been my camera for 5 to 6 years before I bought the M50. So I thought, let me bring out the 550D today and try to get some shots, see if it holds up. It still holds up, so we'll see. Before I show you the pictures that I took in Amsterdam and give you some details about every picture, I'm just gonna go through the list of specs so you know what I was working with on this camera. This camera has an 18 megapixel APS-C sensor. It has a Digic 4 processor, ISO 100 to 6400. You can plug in an external microphone on this. It uses EF and EFS lenses. You can shoot AEB with this camera, which I'm pretty impressed that they put it in here. For the people who don't know what EAB is, it's auto exposure bracketing. I'll link up a video up here where I used AEB to take pictures with my drone. Shutter speed between 30 seconds and 4,000 of a second. It films 1080p and 24 frames per second, which I'm really impressed by for a camera this old. This camera doesn't have a histogram, or you cannot turn on a histogram on the camera, and that was a downside for me, one of the downsides for me, because I like to have a histogram to check my exposure, make sure it's right, and you cannot do that with this camera. However, there is an option to turn on a grid to get your composition right, but you can only turn on the grid in the live view. If you look into the viewfinder, you won't be seeing the grid. So it would have been better for me if there was a histogram and a grid that you can see through the viewfinder. So it's about that time that I'm gonna show you the pictures that I took with this camera. The first picture is about a girl that I saw was trying to take picture of herself with her phone, and I was like, hey, this would be a great opportunity to walk up to her, ask her if I can take a picture of her with her phone, and then talk about what I'm doing and see if she wants to model for me for a picture. I did that, introduced myself and talk about it. She was like, oh sure, and I took this picture of her. I was like, you know, just sit there, look around, enjoy the view. I'm just gonna stand here and take pictures of you and then show you. This was the first person that I walked to and asked them if I can take their picture, and she was pretty cool with it. So the day started very good and I was confident that I can ask someone else to take their picture. I thanked her and moved on. The next picture is a picture that I took of Kéhmor in this metro station. They told us we couldn't take pictures of people or make sure we didn't get the faces of people on the camera because it's prohibited to do that. And I was like, Kéhmor, whatever, just stand there, let me take a picture of you and then we'll move on. All right. Weet je dat ik een foto van jullie neem? Kan dat? Yes. And I snapped these 2 photos of him, and I think they came out pretty great. He looks pretty confident of himself, and I love that. I love that. The next picture is of these 2 couples that were ice skating in Amsterdam. Nothing really special about it. I just thought they were like really enjoying the skating, and I was like, let me take one of them. Next photo is a photo of a girl hanging out with her friends, and I asked my friend Nazar. Nazar lives in Amsterdam. I told him to come meet me, and I told him just stand in front of me and act like I'm taking your picture, and I'm gonna take her picture so she wouldn't like notice that I'm taking her picture. And it came out pretty good. The composition is pretty great. She's like in the middle of the picture, right above Nazar's elbow, so came out pretty nice. Like, I like the colors also, so yeah, like that picture. Next photo is a photo of a lady who was really enjoying ice skating too. She wasn't really good at it, but she was really enjoying it, so I was like, let me capture that moment. Right when I was about to snap her, she looked right into the camera. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna get mad or whatever. So I kept my cool and I kept shooting in the same direction. As she moved out of the frame, I kept shooting in that direction so she wouldn't notice that I was shooting her. And yeah, it turned out pretty good. She didn't tell me anything, and yeah, so turned out pretty good. Next picture is of these 2 friends. One was talking on the phone and the other was smoking. I noticed he had an orange hat, one of them, and I was like, yeah, that stands out. So I took a picture of him and then of his friend, because he looked really, I don't know, he was like really in his moment. He was looking at something, he was smoking a cigarette, he didn't have any clue that his friends walked away, so I just took a moment to snap the picture. Those are some of my favorite pictures that I took that day. Would I do street photography again? Yes. It helped me to get over some of my fears. A lot of the people that I asked that day, they were okay with it. I just asked them and told them what I was doing and why I'm doing it. I showed them my Instagram, and it was perfectly fine. I met some people who were interested in what I was doing, and it's nice when you talk to someone who doesn't know anything about photography or does know about photography. Like that old gentleman that I took his picture, he told me that he has a camera, but he doesn't know what camera it is or which lens. He only knows that it's very expensive, and we got into a conversation. I told him about my lenses and whatever, but it was nice to meet someone else who was interested in something that I was doing. If you're watching this video and you think about, should I do street photography, or should that be my thing, or should I do it sometime, just do it. Walk up to someone or go into the city, go into a festival, whatever. There's a lot of people. Go there, ask someone if you can take their picture. If they say no, say thank you, move on. If they say yes, good, but do it. You will feel better. You will meet some people that are really genuinely interested in what you're doing and want their photos taken. So just try it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment down on this video, not only on my Instagram and my Facebook. Please comment down below on this video, like this video. When you do that, you will help me get onto the recommended page of someone else, and more people will see this video. So please guys, comment down below, like this video, and let me know what you think. If you like this review, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The links are in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.